Marie is one of, if not the most important character in Omori. The entire story of the game pretty much revolves around her tragic, unfortunate death, and how it affected everyone around her. Now, since she's gone, there's not really a way to know how she really is or should be, and the only image we really get of her is through Sunny's pretty astounding imagination and through Basil's photo album. So, let's not waste any time and get into the character analysis. Well, what we can analyze, because she's kind of... Anyone who played through Omori can say that Marie was a pretty great person. She truly cared about all of her friends, and especially her little brother Sunny. She always did her best to support and care for them whenever she could, and she also had a bit of a humorous side. I mean, just look at his face. She was kind of like the mom of the group, but that doesn't mean she didn't have her flaws. She is infamously known to be quite a perfectionist, constantly playing the same piano song over and over and over until she gets it right or perfect. All in all though, she was definitely a good person. A person that probably most people could get along and become friends with. Nevertheless, her constant striving for perfection is exactly what ended up taking her life. Marie was obviously a piano player, and like I mentioned before, she was pretty adamant on getting the songs she played perfect. And also around this time, she was very busy preparing with college, leaving her with little to no time to spend with Sunny and friends. Sunny, however, wanted to spend more time hanging out with his sister, so he decided he wanted to pick up the violin again. His friends and Marie caught wind of this happening, so for Christmas they decided to raise enough money to buy him a new one, and so Sunny began playing the violin again. He practiced with Marie because he wanted to spend more time with her, and eventually I guess they decided they wanted to play in a recital. However, this did not come without a cost, as he soon came to realize that he also had to spend less time with his friends. Not only that, but Marie also pushed him to play the song perfectly, just like she pushed herself to do so. So Sunny's frustrations grew larger and larger the longer this went on, and eventually he reached a breaking point. On the day of the recital, Sunny threw the violin he was given down the stairs, shattering it completely. Marie gets extremely frustrated with him, and considering everything, it's pretty understandable why. I mean, she and Sunny must have practiced for months, spending hours perfecting every note they played, sacrificing precious time with friends, but all of their work just got shattered in this one moment. However, Marie's anger just confused and upset Sunny even more. He just wanted to be comforted, but instead he was being scolded, and at this point he just wanted to run away, and that's exactly what he tried to do. But Marie didn't want that. Marie didn't want him to run away because she wasn't done talking, but Sunny was still confused and frustrated. Sunny had had enough. Sunny, out of frustration, pushes Marie down the stairs. And I think now is a good time to mention that Marie also had a bad knee, making it even harder for her to keep her balance. So Marie falls down the stairs and lands on top of the broken violin, presumably ending her life. And Basil saw all of this go down, and in an effort to save Sunny, tells him to fake it as a suicide, and that's exactly what they do. After Marie's death, all of her friends and family spent years coping and suffering from her passing, especially since no one knew the truth behind her death. Their friend group split up and everyone kind of went their own ways for a while, leaving Sunny alone with the trauma of the truth. Sunny spent around 4 years in isolation, closing himself off from the world, and instead living in his own happy place in his head where everything is perfect and absolutely nothing could go wrong. Now, we could never truly know how Marie felt about everything due to her no longer being here, but we have some idea due to her spirit guiding Sunny to a better path. The first time we see her spirit helping Sunny is when he's facing something and Marie tells him to calm down. And she also teaches him how to focus when he's facing another something, And when you're in the Lost Library, she can be seen briefly walking. And if you think about it, Lost Library contains some of Sunny's happiest memories, as you can see in the books you read. So, perhaps Marie is trying to remind Sunny of all the happy memories they made together with their friends, encouraging him to open up again and perhaps reunite with his old friends, which he does eventually do. Then, jumping forward quite a bit to when Sunny dives in the lake to attempt to save Basil from drowning, and here we see Marie's spirit again, which guides you to a knife, which I'm guessing is so we can fight against the something that appears. And also while facing the something, Marie teaches him how to persist, which makes sense since he's trying to save Basil and also trying to overcome the truth. Finally, he has a small hallucination or a vision, I don't really know which one it is, but either way, it's of when Marie saved him from drowning before. After this part is when we see her play a bit of a bigger role in Headspace after Sunny goes to sleep for the night. And also when you run here in Headspace is when you find out she has a bad knee and she also yells at you if you keep running, so do not run when you're with Marie. But anyway, at this point in Headspace, everyone kind of just disappears from the forest and the forest itself is enveloped in a fog, and the only person Omori finds is Marie, so she joins Omori to look for everyone. They do have to cross the water though, so Marie helps Sunny overcome his fear of drowning and they go swimming in the water. Then eventually the player comes across a bridge and Marie tells him that she's proud of Sunny for overcoming his fear, but there's one thing Sunny hasn't been able to overcome. Going further through the bridge, they finally reach a window covered by a curtain. Marie tells Sunny he has forgotten something important and asks if he's okay with that. But Marie says this is her stop and that she shouldn't have come, but she only did it because it gets lonely without everyone else. And she says that she hopes that Sunny is still there. She turns into her spirit form, showing that the Marie you've been with might have been Marie's spirit rather than her headspace counterpart all along. And she finally says goodbye to her little brother and opens up the next section of Headspace. And also a small little note, but the key you get after this is M, so like M for Marie. Anyway, after Sunny / Omori have some fun exploring black space, Sunny ends up waking up in the real world and he hears what sounds like a piano. So Sunny goes down the stairs and heads to the piano room for the first time all game, I believe. And in here we see Marie's spirit playing the piano in the same window from before. And here Marie acknowledges how Sunny hated how Marie locked herself away for hours playing the piano, and how Sunny struggled to keep up with Marie's playing. Marie thinks she may have pushed him too hard, but she says that she only did so because she wanted her recital to be perfect. And finally, she asks if Sunny wanted to play it now, since they never really got to. But then Hiro barges in and swears he heard music coming from here, but Marie disappears when he does. Her last couple of appearances happen at the end of the game, being some of her most important appearances. One of them is right after Sunny fights Basil, once again in the piano room at Sunny's home. Marie tells Sunny that we all make mistakes and that he's been running from this one for a long time. She says it's tough to own up to them sometimes, but she then says, "You'll forgive yourself, won't you?" Then she tells him that he can do this, and he's worked so hard to get to this point. And now there's really only one thing left to do. And she finally says that she'll always be watching over him as long as he remembers her. The final and probably the most emotional appearance, and maybe even the most important, happens when Sunny falls to Omori. It's the last obstacle to overcoming the truth and forgiving himself. When Sunny refuses to give up, he stands back up and decides to play the violin, and Marie joins him. And they finally play their duet after all of these years, and we see all their happy memories as they play. At the end of the duet, we see Marie gone from her piano. Sunny has finally accepted her death, and that she is truly gone, breaking down in tears as he wakes up in the hospital. Marie has always been a loving and caring person that truly cared for everyone that mattered to her, and she did her best to support and care for them the best she could. Despite all of this though, she let herself get carried away with her perfectionism, which unfortunately cost her her life. But even so, through her spirit, we can see that she's still the same person she was before. No matter what, she was still willing to accept and forgive Sunny for his mistakes, and even wanted him to forgive him, so much so that her spirit practically guided him towards self-forgiveness and helped him overcome his fears. With all this being said, I think it's safe to say that Marie is quite a strong person, mentally at least. I mean, she doesn't let her emotions or what people do to her get in the way of who she truly is, and I think her being able to forgive and love Sunny even after he killed her perfectly shows this. So in conclusion, she truly was an amazing person, and the sun really did shine brighter when she was here.